All right, welcome to the Sae Bae cast number 191 with Chymistry. How we
Hey, how you
doing?
doing?
How we doing, Kim?
I'm doing great, and I'm happy to be here. My name's Chemistry. I normally teach raids. I'm really well known for helping people in chambers of Xeric, and I do it for free.
I was watching you I want to say I want to almost say 5 years ago. I don't know when you started streaming. I don't want to be off on that timeline. When did you start streaming, by the way?
2018.
Okay, so it must have been 2019, I think, when I was first watching, most likely.
Yeah.
And that was back when you had like the green screen cam. So it was like just your face, and I swear it was like a floating face. And there was
Yeah.
something
So
so good about that. That was great.
I've experimented with a lot of different setups in order to make my stream different. For example, I wore a fedora and a white suit when I first started streaming. The reason I did that was because I thought it was cringe, and I thought that other people would think it's cringe, so they would click. It was clickbait. Then they see that I'm just a normal person, and that I actually don't tip my hat or say "milady." But then people wanted me to for subs, so I started tipping my hat, and next thing you know, the joke became reality, and so I just stopped doing it.
Oh damn, yeah. It's just no longer a gimmick
It's
anymore.
not really it's not really a gimmick anymore. You're really tipping your hat. You're really saying "milady." It's not really a
It
joke
started
anymore.
it started translating into IRL. You started saying "milady" to people in real life, right?
No, no, I don't think that that's what happened. But I do think that it was really funny because anytime somebody would come in the chat, they would say "milady" to me, and they would want me to tip my fedora. So that got kind of old.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be known as Fedora Man. I wanted to be known as Raids Guy. But I'm not only a Raids Guy, I'm also really bad at the video game. And by really bad, I mean really bad for how much kill count I have, stuff like that.
One thing I did notice about your teaching raids streams was your ability to just speak very clearly and give the commands of what the new raiders are supposed to be doing. It was usually at Ulm. You just make very specific things, and it's not overly complicated. You're not trying to get people to do all these crazy methods. It's really just getting them in there, getting them the good feel for the raid, feel for Ulm. And I think what you did to control that environment was phenomenal. I think you're like a natural teacher, natural kind of just leader that's leading the gang of all these noobs that don't know each other. You're trying to like herd them like sheep, basically. I do remember those streams. I think you did a phenomenal job. So even though you may say you're not the greatest at the video game, I think you're offering something very valuable. And teaching sucks, in my opinion. There's a lot of it. There's a reason why people don't want to teach raids and stuff. And I think
Yeah. I agree. I agree. It's a really thankless thing to do. But for me, I turned it into something that can help me get out of homelessness. And there are people who were like, hey, you need help? Wow, you really helped me out. Here's a donation. And, that happened so much that I got out of homelessness.
damn.
So you could say teaching sucks, but the rewards really, really have shown themselves. Like people really came to my aid. I still do the teaching streams, by the way. I do it every day at 4 p.m. Eastern, and I have a schedule now. So people are able to come more often.
Now, is that every day
But
at 4?
yeah, every day,
Okay.
every single day. And I think one of the reasons that I do that is because when I was learning how to raid, no one except this woman named Spirit really took the extended amount of time to teach me. There are people who would do one raid, two raids, something like that, and be like, hey, just avoid all the V bosses. But Spirit actually taught me how to do each and every boss, explain the mechanics behind the bosses. And then I said to myself, you know what? When I learn how to do this shit, I swear I'll make sure that other people don't have to go through the same difficulties that I went through. I'm not going to talk about ticks. I'm not going to use that word. I'm just going to play the game and use visuals and audio in order to convey what I'm trying to say.
That's
Now I don't
yeah.
now I don't dislike the tick system, but I do think that since it's different than frames per second, it creates a disparity between the timings that people are used to in other video games.
Yep. And you're not teaching people that understand that you're teaching people that are getting their first PVM experience, their first true PVM experience.
Yes, their PVM experience before they met me is usually very rudimentary. Maybe they've done Vorkath, maybe they've done Fire Cape. I've met a ton of people who had no Fire Cape and they went in the raid and they did just fine.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of interesting how OSRS is. I mean, it really, I try to look back because obviously I've put in just so many hours at this point into this game, so things just feel so natural. But I do remember a time learning about ticks and learning about prayer flicking and stuff like that was extremely daunting. I do remember that feeling of just like, what is somebody saying 2 ticks? Like, what the hell is that? Like, what does that even mean?
I didn't really learn the tick system like until the Inferno. I knew how to 3-tick teaks and I did it for maybe 30 minutes at a time. But when 2-tick teaks came around, or however it's called, or any of these other advanced techniques like messing around with the chinchampas with the box and the trap and stuff, I just couldn't keep up. But, you know, I tried and saw if I liked it or not, and I didn't. And, you know, I really respect all types of play styles. But that doesn't mean that I can do all types of play styles.
Yeah. There's also like just for some reason, like, so with old school RuneScape, not only is it like understanding the tick system, but there's so many other factors that play into getting good at a method like that. One of them is just hardware. Like you genuinely need a decent setup to be able to, like, you need a good mouse that's a super high sensor. You need an actual refresh rate on your monitor that's refreshing fast enough for you to be able to like click things quickly. Because most tick manipulation methods and most, you know, high level PVM requires really decent hardware to actually master it. If you have a jank setup, I'm sorry, but you're just not gonna get to that level where like everybody else is at, because
that's correct.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's correct. Even though Wooks uses, and this may not be true anymore, he's said that he's used the mouse from like Walmart or something. I don't think that most people are Wooks. And so even though he's able to do stuff like that, yeah, I agree with your statement. I think that you need to make sure that you have a comfortable setup, because I've seen some setups, all right, on like Reddit where people are basically in a sweatshop playing RuneScape. And that's not really feasible for you to get better at the game, if that's your goal. Honestly, if I'm uncomfortable, I don't even really feel like playing video games, let alone, you know, really like some of these setups. These people are sitting in the most uncomfortable chairs.
Yeah, I'm with you there, by the way. Like, I need to be comfortable. In fact, nowadays, because I'm getting older, like, I sit on my computer for like 3-4 hours. Like, I used to just be able to grind all day, just sit on the same position and just grind, and I'm good. But nowadays, it's like I have to get up. Like, I don't want to game anymore because I'm uncomfortable.
That's right. And I'm going to end up making a video pretty soon talking about blackjacking and how you should take breaks in between blackjacking and do stretching exercises instead of just blackjacking for several hours at a time. A lot of the actions that you're doing in RuneScape aren't very good for your hand health, like blackjacking, for example. I don't think that would be very good. I think it's a great way to get RSI. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And I've met people who said, oh, you know, that's happened to me and I'm still playing. And to me, it would turn me off of the game if something like that ever, you know, really affected my gameplay. I really would be upset.
Yeah, you know Automelogy?
Yeah. In fact, he was the first person to ever host me. I love that guy.
That guy's a legend. Yeah, I love him. He's great.
What about him?
I was just gonna mention, like, you know, he's always been into tick manipulation. He was the dude that went for 200 mil mining and did it the whole way at Granite, you know. But
yeah, I watched a lot of those streams.
Just recently, like last year, he just developed a lot of wrist strain and probably RSI, maybe. I don't actually know. Maybe a little bit of carpal tunnel. I honestly don't remember, but everything. But yeah, it's because of all the tick manipulation and stuff that he had been doing on his free-to-play Ultimate that basically now he can't do any of that. He has to do like easier methods because he actually has like wrist problems. So yeah, no, it's there's a lot to keeping yourself healthy for gaming.
Well, I'm not the healthiest person in real life. I'm, just trying to help others. And, there's a lot of people who shoot the messenger when it comes to my streams. So I'll try to say something very rudimentary, like you should eat up, or, something like that. And there's a lot of times where I get people who think that I'm yelling or barking or being aggressive. And I don't really feel like I'm that type of person. In fact, I've even had a psychiatrist say that I had some type of aggressive, mental disability that made me really aggressive, and I just don't think that that's true. But I have been labeled my whole life as an aggressive individual, and I've been trying to do my best as a teacher to not be aggressive. But I will admit that there are certain pet peeves that people do that really, really, really turn me into an aggressive guy. One of those things is wearing flippers. Believe it or not, I really hate when people wear items that don't fit with the medieval or RuneScape fantasy. I don't allow people to wear fashionscape stuff in my raids, and they get mad. Why can't I wear my musketeer hat? And the answer is you can. That's the funny part. I never said you can't. I just think you look stupid.
What is the worst moments where you've gotten the most quote unquote aggressive at somebody during a raid? Was there a moment where you just lost your shit over something?
Oh yeah. There was one time where these two PKers were fucking with me. And this happens often, where people will pretend to be learners just so they can get on stream. And so these two dudes, they said, oh man, we want to raid. And I said, all right, so you need this, and this, and a BGS. And so they come to the raid, and then we're doing Guardians. And they're like, AGS, right? And I'm like, no, you were supposed to bring a BGS. You don't even need it in this room. And the next thing you know, they're AGSing the Guardians? That doesn't even work. You need a pickaxe to kill those. So I knew they were trolling. And they were like, oh, we thought you said BGS. So then I keep doing the raid and I entertain it. And then we get a Kodai. And I said, you guys are so stupid. You guys can split that shit between you two. You obviously need the gold more than I do. So they just got a 50 mil split each.
Jeez.
But that's how mad I was. I didn't even want any money. I wasn't even happy that I got a rare item.
Oh my God.
It's funny to think about now, but at the time it was really, really, really annoying.
Yeah.
I used to get put on this channel. It's not Behemoth. It was before Behemoth existed. Mm-hmm. And he would only put clips where I was being aggressive or being mean out of context.
Yep.
I think that there's some situations where you can talk to your friends and be joking and be mean a little bit. And I do that with my friends. But if it's taken out of context, it looks silly. There's one time where I told my friend to stop fishing in the raid. This clip is legendary, if you can find it.
Somebody mentioned that, actually, yeah.
Yes. Somebody was fishing in the raid, and it turned out to be Daily Dosage, one of my friends. So I played a joke on him, and I was like, look, I'm going to get on RS Moments. Watch this. Who's fishing in this raid? Oh, you brought fish? Well, I brought a ban hammer. Goodbye. And then I didn't actually ban the guy, but I made it so the clip looked like I was about to click on kick. And then the clip ends. So it was a viral clip that got a lot of people to come to my channel.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people who came to my channel came and they said, hey, wearing flippers or whatever. That's why I keep talking about flippers, because this meme. And, people kept wearing flippers and coming to the raid and saying, hey, is it okay if I fish? And it's a funny joke. After a couple times, though, it's not really funny. I got to teach these learners.
Yeah.
But maybe I shouldn't have been screwing around in the first place if I didn't want people screwing around with me. Yeah, but I was screwing around with my friend.
Yeah, but it's the one clip that's taken out of context. I'm surprised people didn't think you were like, I don't know. Did you have anybody come in just wondering why you were so angry?
Yes, I've had a maybe 10, maybe less people come in and say, "Why are you so aggressive?" Even though I'll like in the middle of the raid, I'll just say, "Dodge the spikes, dodge the go to the melee thumb." Like I get it, I get it. You see a clip and you react. I get that,
Yeah.
but a little bit of critical thinking goes a long way. I actually ban people who don't have the ability to critically think. So, for example, if somebody tries to apply to my raids,
Yeah.
and there are no requirements, by the way, there are no requirements, and they can't figure out how to apply, then I start to scrutinize their decision making. But if their decision making is not up to par with what I expect of a learner, for example, if I ask them to post a picture and they post a picture, but the picture is of something that I did not ask, then I will consider them stupid, and then I just won't raid with them. So I made a channel in my Discord for, whenever I feel bad, called the Safe Spot Chat. It's a play on words for safe space. And there are at least 20 individuals who saw that it was called Safe Spot and was like, LOL, they didn't like it, let's just say. They called me snowflake and all these other types of words that people woke. People, I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I know what snowflake means, but I hear a lot of different sides saying woke, and to me, it's just lost its meaning. So this is such a huge tangent, but there's so much that goes into teaching that is not RuneScape related that I thought it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a headache, honestly, to deal with. And because you're
It's really not. It's really not. I love it. I love confrontation, but it's only because in order to enjoy camaraderie,
Yeah.
I think you also have to enjoy the opposite, confrontation. I stand up for my friends. That means that I'm willing to be confrontational.
I think you're also just built for it. Like you have a personality type that's just like, I mean, you're bold, I feel like, and I feel like you need somebody that's like bold, that's gonna like stand up for themselves instead of getting like trolled repeatedly. And I don't know. I think the mixture of like how you do your raids and everything, I think you're just perfect for it. So
yeah, and I love it because it takes a certain type of person to be a teacher.
It does.
And not every good player, and I'm going to really, really say this, like I'd say that the majority of people who try to teach are actually very terrible at teaching, but they're just very good at the game. Mm-hmm. And so they think that it translates, but it doesn't. If you ask a pro basketball player, let's just say, how do you dunk? He's not going to be able to explain the inner mechanics of how to do it. He's just going to tell you, I don't know, dude, I just jump. He's just going to fucking do it, and he's going to win the match. But if he's able to tell you exactly how much inches his jump squat is or whatever, I don't know. I don't even really play basketball, but what I can tell you is that there's mechanics that go into it, and you'd be better off asking the coach or his instructor on how he's able to dunk so well instead of asking him directly.
Yep.
Because someone had to have taught him how to do that. So it would be better to go and seek out his teacher than seek out him. In the majority of cases, of course. So I think the same is true with me. I think that there are people who are much better at teaching than I am. And so there have been people who come to me and they ask, hey, can you teach me how to teach? That's really hard. I can't do that. I can teach raids, but I'm not, God's gift. I can't do it all. I'm good at teaching raids, but I'm not the best at everything else.
So you definitely, I'm almost certain you've taught the most chambers, correct, out of your time teaching. Have you?
Yeah,
do you teach
I've taught it over
3,000.
I've taught it over 3,500 times.
Jesus.
Yes, I do.
What is your favorite raid to teach?
Chambers of Xeric, easily. Least favorite would be Theater of Blood. Too many elitists. I'm really tired of people talking about daily Avernix. Shut up. I'm really tired of people saying that TOB is easy and it's AFK. Who is saying that? There are people who really think that TOB gets easier when you get good. No, it doesn't. It's just as hard. As a person who is not very good at the video game, a person who has 700 kill count at Theater of Blood, I still struggle to beat Verzik by myself if I'm the last guy alive. And it doesn't happen often.
And do you teach TOA as well, you said?
I teach TOA. That's the second favorite, but I try to stay away from TOB unless the person has a ton of free time, let's just say, and free money, because you will be paying 100K a lot.
So TOA seems to be the raid you can probably troll the most, but I guess since you're probably the one creating the raid, you can't just randomly flick on what is that, Mind the Gap plugin. I know, like, doing like random free for alls, people will actually troll and just turn on Mind the Gap or whatnot and just
people come into my raid.
Yeah,
I've had people come into my raid before. Thank God you can't do this anymore. Take the fucking teleport crystal from Akka and then teleport out the mirror or whatever. They took the mirror and then they teleported out.
Oh no! Oh, you could do that? Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah. You won't keep the mirror, but you will troll my raid.
But what even happens after that? Can you even complete it?
I don't think you can solve it. I don't think it's possible.
Oh no, that's horrible.
But that doesn't happen often, and it only happened one time. I just thought it was funny to mention.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that trolling is so uncommon in my streams that just by mentioning it on this podcast, there's going to be an uptick in trolling.
Yeah, most likely.
I think that it was a mistake to mention trolling because it's like 1 out of every 100 fucking students is a troll.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's a question: how many Tebows have you seen in your days? Do you know the number?
Do you mean seen or do you mean like?
Let's say
split?
in your name and then
one.
Seen. One in your name. Okay. How many have you seen across the board? That 9. You split. Let's say that.
9 that I split. I've never gotten a Twisted Bow and not split it. But the splits are usually pretty terrible. It'll be like, what, like 20, 30 mil each because there's like 20 students in the raid.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you probably got a Twisted Bow in the first place, right? You know, all those points.
Yep.
But the learners die a lot. So the raid will be like 100K. It'll be like 100K points, even though there's like 7 people in the raid. That's just math ain't math, and you're supposed to have more. But that doesn't happen unless I have helpers.
I had Ron Plays Games on the cast earlier this year, and he was talking about, and this has actually been mentioned quite a few times, so I actually want to get your take on this, because in Chambers, it's like overly punishing when you're learning it, because you die. I mean, basically, if you're going in with a mass of new people into Chambers, you basically can expect to leave with very minimal points. I mean, finishing the raid with very minimal points, and that's just because of all the deaths that are going to occur and just lose all your points by the end of the raid. But he suggested, and I completely agree with him, that point loss should be at a very minimal, if anything, during Chambers, because you're already losing time just bringing new people in, that your points per hour are already getting completely just obliterated, but losing them with deaths as well is like overkill. And so he suggested that point loss shouldn't even be a thing in Chambers. The punishment should be that the raid is just taking longer if you're dying repeatedly. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that he has a point. I think that that's a really good direction. I would go in that direction. And so I mean this when I say I'm agreeing with Ron Plays Games. I think that there needs to be changes to Chambers of Xeric. I think there should be an entry mode. I think that would solve a lot of problems. If there was, because there's an entry mode for Theater of Blood, there's already an entry mode for TOA. Why isn't there an entry mode for Chambers of Xeric where we can implement Ron Plays Games idea?
Yeah, no, I mean, I would even say implement that idea across the board. I mean, just in normal Chambers as well. But yeah, an entry mode, that makes perfect fucking sense.
Yeah, and the reason I say entry mode is because in entry mode, you should also be able to get rewards similar to the way you can get rewards in TOA entry mode. But I think that you should be able to get really lucky to get them, though.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even mean all the rewards. There's just so many Cox rewards that we have to do something about that. Like,
Yeah,
put maybe
maybe.
just the deck scroll and the arcane on the entry mode, and
Ooh, yeah.
that's it. And that's it. You know, like everything else in chambers you can get normally, but make it so in challenge mode you have a better chance of getting the rarer items, though. So in entry mode you can only get the noob shit, but in challenge mode you can get the cool shit.
That is actually
Everybody
genius.
wins. And then in regular chambers, nothing has changed. So if everybody was just doing regular chambers, good. You guys don't have to worry about it. Nothing has changed for you. You know, keep something similar. You know, I think that maybe there could be a chambers drop rework, or there could be entry mode. One of the two. But I definitely like Ron Plays Games' idea of no more point loss. It's already taken a while.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's actually a great idea. And like they did with TOB hard mode, I mean, they did rebalance the drops so Avernix are less common. So
I also think that they should allow us to customize the raid, but you get a point loss. For every boss that you turn off, every puzzle that you turn off, you get a massive point decrease. Similar to the way Nightmare Zone works. If you turn off certain bosses in Nightmare Zone, it turns off several bosses at a time. You can't just turn off Decius, for example.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you turn off Decius, it'll turn off all the different Desert Treasure bosses. Desert Treasure 1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's actually that's I mean I honestly don't even think the point negation should even be that much. I've talked about this because when they were first introducing, like, you know, trying to revamp chambers and allowing you to just have custom scouts and stuff, I was that guy that was a big proponent of just let us customize the raid, no point loss whatsoever, just let us have what we want. That's what I personally thought. And if they were to like buff challenge mode raids to the point where challenge modes are actually the raids worth going for because you're getting higher chances at the big ticket items, and even maybe a slight increase on the points as well per hour, like even beyond what it is, then I think normal chambers having a custom scout that doesn't even have any point loss would actually be fine. But maybe that's a hot take. I know some people have disagreed with that just because they kind of like they like the randomness of the raid. I am under the impression of like entirely get rid of scouting. They've already done a huge service to us by just allowing us to like reload the raid super quickly. But like still, in my opinion, I'm just like, can we just get the raid we want? Like that's it. End of discussion.
I'm for like the other direction as well, where they abolish scouting and you're just no longer able to scout anymore. But I don't like that we're in the middle, where you can kind of scout a good raid now with the current changes they've had. But they just keep making these bad rooms a little bit less bad instead of doing what we actually want, which is let us just avoid the room.
Yeah. Now, I think it's mainly because this piece of content has just been out for a year, so like any little change is really scary for a lot of players. Which is, you know, understandable for a lot of pieces of content. In my opinion, though, I see the game as like 10 years down the road. You know, so the game 10 years down the road, do we still want chambers to be this clunky mess? Now, to be fair, they've made a bunch of positive changes. I'm more so talking like, you know, if I was talking 2 years ago, just the amount of problems there was with chambers, I just like, can we just see through this? Can we just enlighten ourselves and realize like, hey, let's just keep this raid like really standardized and clean and a pleasant experience to just set up the raid as you want, go in, get your loot. That's it. And the rooms are fun across the board. You've made positive changes because again, like, I don't know. I just see this. I see the game 10 years down the line where we have Raid 7 out. And do we still want Chambers being as clunky as it is when everything else is getting standardized and made a lot more nice?
I think the answer to your question is no. We don't want that. And I think that a great way to fix it, and where everyone is happy, is include an invocation system similar to TOAs. TOA has the best system for making a raid party because if you don't like something, you can turn it off. If you're raiding with somebody who says something silly, well, it's a lot easier to tell that they're silly at the beginning of the raid. There are some people who say things like, I'm fine with anything. All right, bitch, let me turn on 625 or whatever the fuck. Let's do that. Also, when you do Zabak, I need you to flinch him too. Flinch him, make him do melees. Since you can handle it. Nah, I don't raid with people who say that shit. Oh, I'm fine with whatever. Yeah, all right.
I feel like I'm gonna disagree with you. I actually think that with raids. Invocation systems. First of all, I think the JMods, Mod Kieran in particular, has mentioned like I don't think they're gonna be going down the invocation route as much anymore. Especially like modifiers with Coliseum. I think that was the main example of them kind of saying like, okay, maybe modifiers aren't the way. But yeah,
I think you're right. I just want there to be another raid like Theater of Blood, so the Theater of Blood people will actually just stop talking. I'm really tired of them speaking. People who do Theater of Blood don't like puzzles.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think a lot of the community doesn't like puzzles. I was a big proponent of puzzles years back, but
it's okay. They'll do a clue scroll, but they won't. But they'll do the same clue scroll 500 times, but they get mad when they have to do the Aka puzzle 500 times.
Okay, here's the issue though with so this is my opinion on puzzles. Puzzles I think actually could work. The thing is it's so hard to make a puzzle that feels good.
Agreed. I think the puzzles that we have are terrible, especially the Baba puzzle. It's not even a fucking puzzle. It's basically a boss.
Yeah, it's not fun. Like
I think if they made
chores
better, yes, they are chores. But I think if they made better puzzles, it would solve the problem. Yeah, everyone would be happier. But if there were better puzzles.
Here's the other problem, though: is now everyone's against puzzles because of the lack of
good puzzles.
Yeah, well, it's so much more complicated in my opinion than just good puzzles. It's the feeling of them. I mean, as soon as anything becomes a nuisance in any way, like the Aka puzzle in theory is kind of cool, like, ooh, set up these mirrors, but everything's so fucking clunky. It's like you take 2 ticks to like pick up the fucking mirror, another tick to like turn them around. Everything's just unorganized. Like if it was just as simple as running in, and as soon as you have the puzzle down, you do like 20 raids and you've got it figured out. It's just a matter of like going in and your dude's just zooming. It's just boom, 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 boom.
There's very little time saves in these puzzles as well. Very little time saves in these puzzles.
Yeah, no.
A puzzle should reward you for going fast, and these puzzles do not. Now, I will admit that I do think that the puzzles we have are dog shit. But that doesn't mean that I think that there should be a Tob raid again where there's 0 puzzles. But maybe I'm wrong because maybe their track record with puzzles is just so terrible.
That's the issue.
Maybe the top people are right.
I think they
should keep talking.
Well, here's the other thing is Tob for most people that have done all the raids and are at endgame almost unanimously agree that Tob is the best raid. And Tob honestly has a lot going for it. Like it is a phenomenal raid. I would almost
talking about you're talking about such a small community that it's
I know. But yeah, no, and there is that. But the thing is most people when they're talking about raids are high level, and the people and I am honestly on board with a Raids 4 coming out that doesn't have any puzzles at all.
Me too. Yeah. After having this conversation with you, me too. If they do have puzzles, I pray that they're much better than any puzzle we've ever seen in any quest, much better than any puzzle we've ever seen in any raid. That is interactive and different every time, dynamic, fun, maybe even there's some time saves in it. But if all those boxes aren't checked, then yes, I do agree with the top community that there should be, no puzzle. But I like the idea of going into a dungeon. Mm-hmm. I like Chambers of Xeric. I want to go spelunking. Tob doesn't feel like a raid. It feels like you're fighting several bosses in a row.
Honestly, for most games, that is a raid. Like that's the definite. I think in
That's
all.
well, most games should change. Then I think most games should change. This is not World of Warcraft. If I wanted to play that, I would play that. I want puzzles in my RuneScape.
That's totally.
Puzzles is what makes RuneScape incredible. Look at treasure trails. They're incredible. It's a puzzle.
Yeah, people are just at the point though where they and again, I think we both agree on this. If puzzles were made to feel good, it's all about the feeling of them.
Agreed.
Literally every single one of the TOA puzzles doesn't feel that good. It just feels like this chore to get to the actual fun boss.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
that's
no,
what's so tough
actually,
about
I
it.
like the Kefri. No, I actually like the Kefri puzzles.
The Kefri,
The Kefri puzzles are godlike.
yeah, they did the best on those. The only puzzle I don't like in that is the pillar one, just because.
Okay, yeah, that one's actually ass. That one's actually.
But everything else is so quick. Like they nailed it with just the fluidity. Okay, like boom, boom, boom. Let's go. We're into the next boss room.
Even if you don't use Rune Light, you can solve those puzzles quite quickly.
Yeah, it's
The first couple days that Tombs of Moscow was out, I'm pretty sure that people were doing it without Rune Light, and they were going quick.
What are your opinions on plugins that solve things for you?
I think people should use whatever they want. As long as Jagex has said that it's okay to use, I'm okay with it being in the client. But
I agree.
I also think that there is a visual occlusion that happens when there's too many tiles marked or there's too many flashing lights or something like that. So you may even be doing yourself a detriment by having so many tell you what to do things. I think a common misconception with people who dislike plugins, though, is that these plugins do things that do things for you. Like Zora Helper, for example, doesn't actually help you do Zora. It's just called Zora Helper, and it shows you what to do. But there are some people who think that Zora Helper is something else.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's limits with plugins when it comes to those things. I was very curious just on your take on with like puzzle solving and stuff, because in my opinion, I think you do enough puzzles. You know, it's just like Clue Scrolls in particular. Like I know there's some purists that still hold on to the view of like, no, all the puzzle solvers need to be removed. We got to go back to the good old days where you have to solve it with your brain. First of all, nobody was solving it with their brain in the first place. Everyone was loading up the wiki or Rune HQ and fucking solving it that way.
Shout out to Tip.it. Shout out to
I never used that website. I always used Rune HQ or the shitty wiki.
Yeah.
The fandom.
Saul's Realm.
Yeah.
But I never did a Clue Scroll. I was too stupid. I still haven't done one. RuneLight did it for me. Just kidding. I think that it's up to you if you want to do the Clue Scroll or not with the RuneLight helper. And let me be completely clear. I don't want puzzles that are unsolvable without RuneLight.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I just want the puzzle to look cool. I want the puzzle to be cool. I want it to be a fast puzzle. I want it to be dynamic. And they better do all that shit. All the boxes better be checked for what I said. Not just one of those things. Everything must be true in order for it to be a good puzzle. And if they cannot do that, if they can't provide that, then yes, I do agree with the Tob community or whatever community. The people who have done all three raids.
Yeah.
I like to say that people who think that Tob is the best raid, I call them the Tob community.
Yeah.
Because that circle jerk needs to die.
Just love how you're so aggressive against it.
I fucking hate it. I hate when people say that Tob is the best raid because they're wrong.
It's funny because like I would probably say, well, here's my take on it. TOA,
the best raid hasn't been released.
Okay, that's fair. In my opinion, so I made my TOA experience miserable because I decided to solo all my purples. So that made the experience worse. I realized like Team Toa is actually more enjoyable, and I learned that toward the end. So I think Toa actually could be pretty fun, but soloing it was just a miserable experience for me. And then soloing Chambers is a pleasure. I love doing that. I think it's great. And then Tob, I think doing Team Top, if you have a good team, is the most fun raiding experience. And I think partly due to just, and again, this is coming down to like having a good team. That's what's making it fun. I would imagine doing this in teaching people has got to be one of the most horrible, horrific experiences of all time. Bringing in new people to TOB because it's such a shit show. But yeah, I would say
Actually,
TOB with a bunch of pros is a blast.
I agree with you, but there are very few pros in this world, and obviously, I don't think that we should even talk about people who are good at RuneScape because there are so few people who are. I think that we should talk about the majority of RuneScape players when we talk about stuff like TOB is the best raid, because there are so few people who have even gotten one completion.
It's true.
It's elitism to say that TOB is the best raid. It's elitism to even talk about the best raid because not everybody can even complete all three. It's that hard. But one thing I will say is that it's the easiest one to teach.
Really?
You were saying that it might be a nightmare? No. The people who want to learn TOB, when they come to me, they usually come correct. They already got their items. They already got their salve amulet. They already know what they're talking about. They know how to pray range. They know how to freeze. They just need a little direction, a little help to beat Xeric. That's usually what it boils down to. Now, have there been people who don't even know what Maiden is and they came in and they tried to learn the raid? Yeah, sure. And we did entry mode together and it was fun. But for the majority of people, they want to do normal mode. And those people who are doing normal mode want to transition into hard mode. They want to get better at the game. And those people are super easy to help because I'm a no-nonsense type of guy. And so I'll say, hey, look, you didn't switch your prayer fast enough. Hey, look, you missed this freeze on the spiders. So that's why the boss healed to full HP. If we don't beat this boss in less than 3 minutes, you're not good enough. I'll say stuff like that. And they'll say, all right, bet. And then I'll also say stuff like, if you're really about that life, you'll solo the shit. I hate when people say, oh man, I can't find top teammates. Bitch, solo it. Go in there in entry mode and solo it. Keep practicing. I promise you, you will find other players. If you keep playing this MMO, there are thousands of people online. I guarantee you there's somebody with, a mind just like yours who's willing to do the content with you. You just got to ask.
You know what? They just brought up the that old video you made, starting off with Bodhi, trying to, getting people inspired to just, get out of your comfort zone with the game. I think that video was really popular. I remember when you uploaded it, and it was basically
Engineer left a comment.
Sorry?
I said, yeah, Engineer left a comment.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, it was just brilliant because I think we do just put a lot of limits on ourselves. Ultimately, it is just a video game, and I think you articulate it perfectly. It's just, you're playing a video game. This game isn't meant to be impossible. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be a challenge still, but just get out there and learn things. And yeah, I thought that was great.
That's why I took my requirements away. I want there to be as little elitism in my community as possible. So there's no requirements to come to my raids. Have there been smartasses that are like, yeah, man, I'm level 3. Can I come raid? I say, yeah. Good luck getting here, smart ass. The shamans will get to you before I do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if somebody wants to be a level 3 and they want to raid, hopefully they have the stats to actually catch bats or, herblore. We had one guy named Sanji, and yeah, we taught him how to do it. Dude, I don't care if you're level 3. Just come correct.
Yep.
I really hate when people try to twist my words. I really hate when people try to misunderstand me. I think that there are people out there who try to misunderstand me because I'm so bold, because I'm so, let's just say, headstrong, and because I'm confident in the things that I'm saying. There are people who are automatically adverse to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a detour from raids. I want to ask, what is your favorite piece of content in the game? Is there something besides raids that you would love to do more of, but you're kind of like the raids teacher guy?
Yeah, this is kind of a secret, but there's three skills that I really enjoy and I wish I could do on stream, but you ain't gonna get no viewers unless you're Sae Bae doing rune crafting. Let's just be real. Unless you're Sae Bae, you ain't getting no motherfucking viewers. I watched the whole video of you making the new rune. Bruh. The Wrath Room when that shit came out? Yeah, bro. I watched that whole video. You did the video, didn't you?
Yeah.
How long was that video, G? How long was that video, G? Like 10 hours, G?
No. They're just like an hour long usually.
Yeah, it's like an hour. Sorry.
Yeah. But an hour of pure silence. I mean.
Yeah, but I got music in the background, and I'm like, damn, look at these clicks. Remember me, Automelgy. I'll fuck with it. I fuck with it heavy. I fuck with your channel because you fuck with rune crafting. And you talk about rates. I love when people talk about rates.
Hell yeah. I'm honored, man. No,
dude, you're a pillar of the community. You're showing people that not everybody who cares about EHP, BHP, whatever HP is a bad person. They're not. They're just normal, just like everybody else. I hate when people take certain play styles and they villainize it.
Yes. I actually agree with that. No, it really...
Those tabbers are the enemy. Those coxers are the enemy.
Yeah. No, I mean, to be fair, I mean, there's just a long history of toxicity in the high-level skilling community. And there still is. It's still prevalent. It's not as bad anymore just because people are growing up. But yeah, it was just kind of a mess. It was almost kind of embarrassing. I remember in particular. I mean, we saw. I mean, okay, let me try to like think of how this went. Like at the beginning of old school, basically everyone was a skiller. Like it was either you're a PvPer or you're a skiller. And that's just because there was no bossing content. It was just like DKs and
Barrows.
Yeah. So, but like getting a 99 was seen as amazing. I mean, just crazy. It was cool to flex your 99 capes. That was all the rage, is just fucking getting a 99. That was cool. That was the old school feel. We eventually yeah, no, I mean, OGs back then. I mean, then we hit a point, and keep in mind, on Twitch during these days, everybody was skilling. Like, that was cool. If you're a top rank player, you got a bunch of XP, that was cool as fuck. I mean, Automelgy was polling hundreds and hundreds of viewers, mining. He was just fucking mining. And yeah.
Wow.
So it was just a different time period back then. And then what happened is we hit a stage where skilling became super like unpopular. Like high level skilling was just seen as like super cringe for good reason, because of some like a cohort of people on Twitter and stuff. And
I think that there are some people who gave skilling a bad name for sure, but I think that also there's so many updates that are just anti EHP. Like, in my opinion, Winter Todd isn't very good EHP. I could be wrong. There's just so many AFK updates that doing those methods are probably just the more popular method than like barbarian fishing. So I think that there's probably more people doing what is it called? Water Todd? What is it? Water Todd? Water something.
Yeah, no, I think you're thinking of Temperos.
Temper Todd. No. Got you. Anyways, the people who are playing that game, I have 99 fishing. The only thing that I fish for is comments in your YouTube section. I don't fish. But I know that this podcast is going to probably make some people think that I'm a certain type of person, but I want to let you guys know I am. If you come to my stream, I'm going to be nice to you. I'm probably just going to say stuff like, dodge the spikes, dodge the lightning, dodge the teleports, thanks for the follow, dodge. You know, I've been dodging my whole life. Dodging questions, dodging bullets, but I could never dodge this podcast.
You couldn't. You got on it.
Couldn't dodge it. Hit me like a bullet.
No, I'm glad though that you're still keeping up with the teaching streams, and I'm glad that you fuck with my skilling videos, because there is a small portion of my community that actually really appreciates those like hour uploads. It's not for everybody, and I mean I'll even have guides, like I made a Mahogany Homes guide, and like in the guide there's just
I watched it.
There's like half of the comments are just like, did you just tell me to use my max cape to teleport here with a mahogany home guide?
You be on that bullshit, but I fuck with it because you definitely said go to a PvP world with your fucking Wilderness Elite diary done, so you can teleport with your Elite 4 sword, with your achievement diary cape.
Yeah, my
Use your achievement diary cape.
My guides are meant back then, especially. I mean, I was extremely jaded. I still probably am to this day, but I've definitely lowered that jadedness with making this hardcore group that I've been playing. But back then, it was really just I'm making my videos that I want to make, and a lot of this is just centered on like maxed Iron Men that are trying to take the game really seriously, and that was what I found really pleasurable about making videos, is like not just making a fucking guide that's for the average level 40 combat noob. Just like, no, I want to make the efficient stuff.
Facts. And I want to talk about that, Sae Bae, because I don't think that you're the type of person to be negative, but you are a pillar of the community. So would you say that you would be a spokesperson for the EHP community or elite gamers? Would you say that you know a bit a little bit about elitism or whatever?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I wanted to bring up elitism because when it comes to being a content creator, you know a lot about that too. Yeah. There's a lot of overlap in what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I think that content creators in general, especially me, need to do a better job of catering to the lowest common denominator. And when we make guides, we're not doing that. I think that there are people who are around level 70, 80, 90, 100 who need stuff like discord.gg/gear, and they can't use it because if you go to that Discord, it's useless. It has max setups.
Yep.
It's quite fucking useless. And they advertise. So fuck y'all.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. The problem is, well, not problem, but there's just so many guides for the most part, and I'm talking specifically YouTube. There's so many guides already that are catered toward basically low-level players, and there's a surplus of those. So I saw that niche as like, I'm going to be making guides that are more catered to the very highest level of people. And you know what I'm good at. Like, I wasn't good at like maximizing efficiency at all the PVM stuff. There's a few cases, a lot of the Slayer boss, like I know like KQ, my KQ guides, I would try to like really sweat out. But when it comes to raids and stuff, I know people are just way more sweaty than I'll ever be at those. So I leave that to the experts. But
I think content creators are projecting sometimes. They're projecting their own need to be better onto their community. This is what you should wear. You know, this is the most efficient stuff.
Yeah, no, there probably is that. I've never tried to be that myself. You know, for the most part, I'm just trying to, like, because I was so addicted to, you know, just saving ticks and stuff with certain methods and stuff. And it was so fun exploring different routes. I know, like, for example, Blast Mine. I mean, I spent like 3 hours at Blast Mine one day. Just
love that video.
Trying to discover, because on the wiki at the time, like the wiki had all these shitty methods that weren't even like tick perfect, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go here and just pioneer this method myself. And it was the same thing.
You're the reason.
Yeah. Go.
You were the reason I went to Blast Mine.
Hell yeah.
That's how I got a lot of mining XP and a lot of fucking money. I
Blast
made at least
Mine's
like 3 or 4 mil.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good, and it's really good money, and it's even better now since that video you made. They've definitely done changes to make the Blast Mine better. And I think that there are people like you who are making content that demystifies certain content. But I also think that there are some people who make content that shrouds it even further.
Yeah. That's fair.
An example of that is like anytime one of these high-level people make a video, like, okay, here's a good example. Noob Type made a video where he did a TOA in like the craziest fucking gear, where it's like not even expensive. But then he used all advanced techniques in order to complete the raid.
Yeah.
So for me, what a normal person would say is damn, he did it in that gear. I can't even do a 150. Fuck. But that's because he's just so skilled. It creates this situation where he's being misunderstood. He's not trying to say, hey, I just did a 500 with a Karis, a regular Karis, or whatever. I don't know what he was wearing, but it was unrealistically poor.
Yeah.
He had a Walmart setup going on, always low prices.
Yeah. In the clearance section. Yeah.
Right. But the thing is he was trying to prove how good he is to himself, most likely. He probably wasn't doing it in order to be better than anybody else. But there are so many people who project and they say things like, look at Wooks, look at Noob Type, look at these other people. I'll never be as good as them. And so it shrouds it further. It shrouds the barrier of entry further. And so I really appreciate your Blast Mine video because we need more videos like that. I don't even remember who made a Volcanic Mine video. I think it might have been you as well.
No,
explaining.
wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you.
No.
Okay, well, somebody was explaining how to get into the Discord and how to get involved in the Volcanic Mine community.
That was very mysterious for a lot of people. I think you're right with the term demystifying these things because Volcanic Mine to this day is still one of those things. If you haven't done it before, it's like, what the fuck? How do you even get
what is
involved in
this?
Yeah.
How do I get involved in this and why? Why the fuck should I?
Yep.
And if there aren't videos that are coming out talking about, hey, here's Blast Mine. Hey, here's Volcanic Mine. I guarantee you nobody's going to go over there and figure it out themselves. There has to be somebody who piques the interest. And as content creators, I think we're doing a poor job. We're doing a poor job because we're recommending best in slot gear.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good point. I've mentioned this on the past several podcasts, and it's something that's on my mind, obviously, because I'm playing it. But this hardcore group that I'm playing, it's forced me, obviously, to see the game at a different perspective, at an early Iron Man level, and seeing all these new updates. And I've been learning a bunch of new methods. One, for example, is artifacts. Artifacts was completely mysterious to me. It was something where it's like, I hear the word artifacts, I'm like, what the fuck is that? I don't care.
What the fuck is that?
Exactly. I don't want to learn it. I don't want to hear about it. But it's really, really chill. It's like one of the chillest things, and it's insane thieving XP per hour. And so that would be, a video I would like to make that's just like, because I remember, just a month ago, I didn't know anything about it, and just the concept of it was scaring me. It was just intimidating. Like, I don't want to learn something new. But if you come out with a really, really simple guide, just literally illustrate the whole guide as like just the bare minimum of what you actually need to do. So you're not making it overly complex. You're just saying this is what it is. That would get a lot of people into it. It's the same thing with my Blast Mine guide. I mean, that was really the purpose, is like just making it as simple as possible. Like, this is all you have to do. And right. I think you are right with trying to not over complicate guides and make them max efficient, but really just trying to get people involved in them. And those are honestly the most successful guides on YouTube when it comes to viewers, because I'll
play devil's advocate for a second. There are some people like me who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they think that they're helping the new players, but they're actually just steering them the wrong way. Like there's one guy, not gonna name him, but in his fucking Chambers of Xeric guide, he says, avoid all bosses that start with V.
Yeah.
Bitch, that's not a guide. That's not a guide.
That's not.
And the way that he explained Vespula was not the redemption method. The redemption method, at the time of his video, had already been released. That was already well known. The pros were already doing that shit. So the person could have invested a little bit more time and figuring out that technique for themselves instead of saying no V bosses, LOL.
You know what is one of my pet peeves? You mentioned one of yours earlier. One of my pet peeves, and this in particular came up with
I hope I don't do it.
No. With me uploading my Blast Mine guide, when I was making that guide, it's really short. It's like 4 minutes or whatever. But before that, I was like, you know what? Let me look up on YouTube OSRS Blast Mine guide and just see what else is on there. One of the most frustrating things of all time was seeing people making guides that have false rates on it. So when I looked it up, like one of the first
Oh,
videos that popped up
shit.
is like blast mining is 80. This, keep in mind, this is years ago. I mean, it was like they're like blast mine up to 85k XP an hour. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? And they're
That's
doing
better than
and they're doing the shittiest method, and they show it off for like 30 seconds. Like, this is what you do. You click this one, this one, this one, this one. You get 85k mining XP an hour. I'm like, dude, you probably haven't even done this content for one straight hour, like ever. You probably literally just came here, looked at the wiki, and just made up some rate, and then made the video on it. So in almost all of my guides, I will have a proven hour of what the XP rate actually is. And me being absolutely tick perfect on my more efficient method was only getting 80k XP an hour. So he's claiming.
I found the video you're talking about. Oh no, I found it.
Oh god.
Yeah, I don't fuck with him. I don't fuck with him. I don't fuck with it.
It pisses me off so badly because and then you go in the comment section like, well done, like amazing guide. Thank you for all the help. And I'm like, bro, this is fucking false advertising.
You know what?
Guys,
I got one video that's a pet peeve of yours. Then
okay.
On my Chambers of Xeric thumbnail, it says 3 mil GP per hour. All right, it's not no damn 3 mil GP per hour. It's not for a learner. You're not making shit. You're not making nothing. You're making zero. So I should probably change that thumbnail just because I was on your podcast and because I respect you.
No. Like, it's more with the skilling rates. That's what I'm more obsessed with. You make some fucking bullshit GP per. You could probably say $1 bill an hour. You know, you got a Tebow your first case. Say there you go. There's $1 bill an hour.
I have a rap where I said that I made 600K in 8 hours. I said I used to want a Derek PK. So I did barrels every day. Only made 600K. It's a song on my YouTube channel.
Oh, shit. Do you like rapping?
Yes, I love rapping.
Yeah?
Because I get to talk shit.
Have you ever made a Chambers teaching rap?
No, I actually make raps that aren't whack. Yo. So I have, just kidding. I think that would be a really good idea. In fact, I've rapped about Theater of Blood, teaching Theater of Blood. And a lot of people really like that rap. I have a RuneScape mixtape, in fact. It did not win any awards.
But
I made it.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe it's because I cursed a lot in there.
Okay, let me just.
It's called Loading, Please Wait.
Was this mixtape made years and years ago, like 2019-ish? I remember almost like a sub goal you had where you're going to make an OSRS mixtape if you hit that sub goal. That must have been, I remember seeing that on your stream.
Yes, the mixtape is called Loading, Please Wait. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 songs on it. 7 full songs.
Damn.
And they're all about RuneScape. The first song is called Motherload Mine, and I'm just talking about how efficient players are very antisocial people. Mm-hmm. Antisocial people. They won't even speak on disc. It's a pretty cool mixtape. I really enjoyed making it.
I'll have it linked in the description for people, so if they want to check it out.
Yeah, maybe, and if you want to, you could, listen to it in your spare time. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about is YouTube Shorts.
Okay.
Have you ever made one?
Yeah.
Really? Let me check out your channel.
Yeah. I made the last like 50 or so are just stream highlights that I would just make really easily through Twitch.
Okay, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean I haven't uploaded one in like a month at least.
Okay, I like this B-roll. This is more than what you're at. This is more than what you're selling yourself short. This is very good.
Thank you. And then, well, the earlier ones I would actually, some of them I made and some of them I had other people do. So.
Oh, you got people on payroll. That's what's up.
Yeah. So, but that was.
They're getting views. They're getting views.
Yeah, no, shorts for me, like, you got to find, like, the perfect recipe to make them. Like, you got to, first of all, you can't just spam shorts, I've realized. You know, you can't just make a bunch of shorts and hope that everything works out. To be fair, people will still watch them because shorts is just like, it's complete brain rot. I mean, if you're watching shorts.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You'll just watch whatever the hell pops up. But ultimately, if you want to make good shorts and you want to get them like in the algorithm, you got to make really solid ones that people are really engaged with or dropping the likes on. And then you have to do it sporadically. Like I would only say maybe a few a week is probably optimal for most creators. You could do daily ones, but they got to be great or just funny.
Oh, I do daily ones. They work for me, but I definitely agree with you. It's not going to work for everybody. And I've definitely done it because my regular videos weren't getting views anymore. So I said, let me try out the short shit.
Yep.
And then my shorts actually turned out better than my regular videos because I really love making short form content. I really like brain rot. Now, my personal life, I fucking hate short form content.
Yeah.
But I love creating it.
I see.
Because I don't create short form content that I think is useless. I'm
a creator that's more like you probably know, you probably been subscribed for a while, but like I like the long form rambles, the podcast, things like that. Like that's my strong suit. I enjoy.
My fiance is like that. My fiance loves that shit.
Yeah.
For whatever her subjects are, she loves to watch like 5-hour videos about whatever she's interested in. And I honestly, I wish I could stream for 5 hours, let alone watch a video.
Yeah.
My streams are usually about an hour, 2 hours long. I wish I could stream longer. It's just mental or physical limitations are stopping me.
Yeah, that
I fall asleep.
Sucks. Yeah, no,
I fall asleep.
I'm with you. I mean, back in the day, and it depends on like it depends on how much energy there is in the stream as well. You know, if you have a stream that's just absolutely popping off, it's banging, everything's going right, you know, you got pleasant viewers in there keeping everything fun, then it's easy. But as soon as like the vibe is off and you're just kind of fucking tired and you're bored and you're kind of hungry, you need to take a shit, it's just like you're just sitting there, you're like, need to end, you know?
Facts.
Yeah.
It's like one small thing will go wrong, and you're like, you know what? It's time to end. This is the ending angle.
Yeah.
But I'm not like that. I'm like this.
Yeah.
As soon as I catch myself falling asleep, I look for an exit. I look for an exit. But I hate that I have a webcam on, and then they'll be like, dude, are you falling asleep? He's off the za. No, I'm not. I have sleep apnea. You off that za, bro.
Yeah,
Don't smoke that shit from the gas station. Let me ask you something. You smoke?
Weed?
I mean, damn, bro. What else can you smoke? I ain't talking about Ranner.
So I actually, I've actually never smoked weed, but I used to have like the pens, like the THC pens. I used to vape.
Oh, word.
I used to vape those. This is because I stopped about a year and a half ago. I probably did it daily for like a year, and before that it was just very occasionally, basically for like the year prior to that. So I only really did it for like 2 years. I would take edibles as well, but I haven't taken any THC product in like a year and a half at this point.
That's what's up. I don't do that shit.
I mean, the thing is like it was nice when I did it, and it was fun, and it was enjoyable. I mean, it was basically just me escaping reality. It's just an easy escape, you know, just boom, I'm out. I can just fucking relax. I can have a pleasant time eating food, listening to music, whatnot. But it got to the point where I was getting really anxious on it, like to the point where it wasn't enjoyable anymore. It was just like a bad experience. Yeah. Yeah,
for me, I did it one time, and it actually, I found out I was predisposed to a mental illness. It did help me. I felt calmer, but it also didn't help me.
Yep.
It helped me realize that I have something called schizoaffective bipolar disorder, which is a really fancy way to say you're fucking crazy.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I take medication for it. I take medication for it, so I'm just a normal person.
That's good. No, I mean, the thing is, I can actually empathize with that a little bit. I had like a psychotic episode. I did this is like a year and a half ago. This is when I stopped like all drug usage basically, because I was doing like I was basically chronically vaping weed, chronically just as in like every single day, just at night usually I would do it.
Yeah.
And I was also like, this is over 2 years ago at this point now, where I dabbled in mushrooms, and so I started doing mushrooms, and I was doing mushrooms quite often. It was a really amazing experience for a lot of it. I had some like pretty terrifying trips, but nothing that was like really fucking me up. But then toward the end, I had like 2 really horrific trips that like really fucked me up, and I was like mildly psychotic for like a couple months. That was
yeah.
and so
I've seen some demons and stuff. Like it's not cool. It makes you change your life. It makes you, really appreciate the things that you have.
oh yeah, and that was, and so I can like empathize with like mental illness and stuff because I basically had it, and it's the worst. Like I wouldn't wish it on anybody to have to deal
Yeah.
with.
All it took was one bad trip, and I changed my life around. I actually got back with my ex, and we're getting married.
Damn, congrats, man.
Yeah, like all it took, was turn my life around.
Yep.
That's all it took.
No, it's
Well,
yeah.
I stopped doing a lot of bullshit, and I got out of homelessness. I got a relationship, and I can play RuneScape full time now. I really feel like people, they have bad situations, but it can turn around, y'all. If you listening, I really feel like if I can get up out of that jam, I don't think that maybe you can. Maybe maybe you can't. But I think that if you tried hard enough, you might prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, y'all.
No, and honestly, this is kind of I wouldn't say sad truth, but a lot of the time it really takes hitting rock bottom to really make a significant change, or close to rock bottom. For me, I mean, I've hit multiple rock bottoms in my life. They're not other people's rock bottoms, but for me personally, they're my rock bottoms, and hitting those really helps you to learn and grow. So oftentimes, I mean, you go through experiences that are meant to help you grow. So
Yeah, I've really experienced. I don't want to get too spiritual, but I've really experienced like a reforming of myself, or reimagining of myself after deciding that I wanted to make better decisions. And I realized that it's much easier to make better decisions when it's like the snowball effect happens, where you make one good decision and it kind of makes you want to make another good decision because the first good decision worked out. And so I'll be like, oh, I made a video and people actually responded. I'll make another one.
Yep.
I'll make another one. And this one will be funny. And it keeps this chain reaction going. But I think the same thing is true when you're in a negative way too, that it can snowball. But people often underrate the positive snowballing effect. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about the negative snowballing, how you're not supposed to be negative because you're going to attract more negativity. But how often do people talk about the fact that positivity attracts more positivity?
It's true. Yeah, no.
I think that, like positive people will stick around even when there's there's like a misunderstanding. I think positive people will work it out. But I think negative people, they'll see one red flag. Gotta go.
Yeah,
and,
it goes both ways. You're right.
Or one red flag, and they say, oh, so you're trying to tell me that you're this way? I'm not going to name any specific tribes, as I like to call them, but everybody is so focused on the tribe that they're a part of that it's very hard for them to see other tribes as, friends. So like the Skillers and the PKers, they can't get along with this new boss that's coming out.
What are your thoughts on it?
Winter Todd. Isn't it
Rathma?
called Winter Todd?
Rathma.
Winter Todd, right? Dog, I don't give a fuck.
Clearly.
Winter Todd. I'm pretty sure it's called Winter Todd. I am very ignorant.
What are your thoughts on Winter Todd V2?
I think that Winter Todd. I think if Winter Todd does come out, I think
it's not. I mean, it's gonna fail again if it gets repulled.
If it comes out, I hope that people are happy. If it fails, I hope that people are mad. But I don't really care either way because they keep doing this shit where they want fucking skillers to go into the fucking wild and experience true carnage. I don't know why they want that shit, but is that what they're doing with the new boss?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's
All right,
always
it's failing. It's failing.
yeah. No, this is a complex issue. It takes too much to get into, and everybody is so biased too. Like if I get a PKer on, they're fucking biased. If I get a PVMer on, they're really biased. If I'm talking about it, I do have my biases as well, clearly, but
I wish I could consider myself a skiller, but I've been teaching raids longer than anything else I've ever done. I like rune crafting. It's my favorite thing to do. I wish I could do it on stream.
Yeah, no, it kind of sucks that skilling just never is as popular streaming wise, huh?
Yeah, unless you're Sae Bae. But I think that there's a lot of situations where people like the personality.
Yeah.
So that's what they're watching. Don't sell yourself short. I think that your personality keeps the people watching. And so they're willing to watch you do whatever. But that's goals. That is goals. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do in RuneScape, and people will watch me. But I got to earn that shit. You know, like, you got to earn it.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that people get lucky. People say that you get lucky, but nah, you built those relationships.
It's tough because it's a consistent thing, and being on camera live. I mean, you have to put on a show. You don't have to go out of control, obviously, but you gotta be lively. You gotta be entertaining, and that shit's effort. I mean, and I will never, like, I'll 100% always be grateful for what I have. I mean, being a streamer, compared to every other job I had, this is a dream. I mean, a literal dream that I get to live. And I'm just always grateful for it, like the position I'm in. But ultimately, like, it's something you have to maintain. I mean, this is not just, I get to play my video game. I get to sit in my underwear and not talk and just fucking degen and, sit here and play my video game and get paid for it. It's like, no, I have to be an entertainer in some sense, and that's kind of hard.
You have to build relationships and rapport.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not just clocking into I remember one of my jobs, it was just, you just go to work. You could be in the pissiest mood, just go to work, don't talk to anyone, get the job done, leave, you're out, and it's just whatever, you get paid regardless. If you're in a pissy mood and you go live, like that is a detriment. Like you're not helping anything. You're ruining things. So you got to keep up, like, you got to keep a good life balance so you're happy and you're ready to be on cam, you're ready to stream and stuff. And that's, I think, what some people may not recognize when it comes to, like, online streaming in particular. With videos, you can just make a video and, you just make some little audio clips. So being live in front of a camera for 6 to 8 hours, I mean, that's work.
I look down upon any Twitch streamer who thinks this shit is easy. I don't know what the fuck they're doing on their stream that makes them say that, but they're probably not making YouTube videos, or they're probably not talking to their chat room as much, or something. I don't know.
Well, here's another thing. I mean, you mentioned snowballing. It's the same thing with streaming. If you start getting a bunch of exposure and people are coming in, the streams keep snowballing. And the thing that's really interesting about streaming is, like, the more people you have, the easier and more fun it is to attract more people. If you have a stream, if you go live and you just instantly have 500 viewers in your stream, it's so fucking easy to be more enjoyable, more relaxed, more funny, more everything, because you just got a huge audience that's just having fun with you. If you're streaming to 2 people, try to keep that energy up. Like, if you're It's Will, for example, I've mentioned him a few times in previous casts. It's just so easy to, if you're a person that's aspiring to be a streamer and you see, like, It's Will streaming to 1,500 people, and it's just a fun time. It's just, you got so many people spamming messages. It's all fun. It's all fun and games. Imagine It's Will trying to stream to 2 people. Would the energy
you have him
be
on
the
Discord?
Same? Yeah.
Do you have him on Discord?
Yeah.
Tell him stop playing Luigi. Tell him I said that. Tell him I said stop playing Luigi. That shit is so ass. But to answer your question, don't actually tell him that. But to answer your question, I don't think I could keep up that energy, because when I first started, I already had 10 viewers. I had 10 friends who were willing to watch. I told them, hey, yo, I need y'all to support me. I don't want to be one of these people who got 0 viewers, bro.
Yep.
So I told my boys to come through. I think a lot of people when they start aren't willing to do that. They're not willing to beg their friends to come to their fucking stream.
It's
And
also,
if you're not willing to be
yeah.
humble,
Yeah.
you're not going to be a good streamer.
Yeah, humility. I mean, if you have, I mean, first of all, being a one viewer, Andy, really is a humbling experience. So even if
It
you
really
have
is.
some ego, like it just gets demolished immediately. I mean, I remember streaming my first 3 months of streaming. When you check out the analytics, when I go back, I was averaging like 3.4 viewers for 3 months. Like that was the average.
And you might not even that might not even be good. That might not even be good enough for affiliate.
No. I made affiliate because like the first week I was able to manage like 3 because I think I had like I think I had my brother's phone on and my phone on, so I was like able to get like that 3 viewer average that you needed or whatever.
That's the hustle.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
But seriously,
Every time that I get a
that those were the most painful streams. I just had like I had nothing else going on and I wanted it to work out, so luckily I stuck with it. But god damn, dude, 3 months of streaming 8 hours a day and just. I mean, there would be times where I'm streaming and I check the thing and there's 0 viewers. 0. And it's just like, what am I even doing here?
damn, bro, you're not even watching yourself.
Yeah. No, I mean, it got to that point where I just didn't care. I didn't want to load up my phone. But
I feel you on that, but that's wild.
Yeah,
that is wild. 0. I would never watch a 0 viewer stream.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And so you're just kind of like, okay, nobody's here, so I'm just gonna end. This is fucking uncomfortable. So
I see so many people nowadays streaming to their boys in Discord. That a lot of those guys could be streamers, but it's not worth it. So I definitely want to say to everybody, if you've thought about becoming a streamer, at least try it on Discord first to your friends before you go live on Discord with your friends before you make a Twitch channel and do all this extra work.
Yeah.
Because it's not all it's cut out to be, and the chance of you being successful is very low unless you do what Sae Bae did and suffer. Basically what Sae Bae said is, I suffered.
And I had a lot of luck too. I mean, a lot of that I
bet you watched guides. I bet you even watched guides on how to be a good streamer.
No, I actually didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
I did.
Yeah. No, you know what I did? You know what I have seen? I've looked at not even guides like YouTube guides, but like written like articles on how to be a better podcaster. That's what I've looked up.
Oh, no wonder you're so good at it.
Oh well, thank you. No, I wouldn't say I'm getting there. I'm trying to improve.
Your podcasting is almost as good as your smile.
Thank you.
Did you blush?
Yeah, I am blushing a little bit.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, thank you. No, but I have a lot to thank for like It's Will. I'm mentioning him again. He actually rated me back when he was popping off. He rated me several times. So after that 3-month lull of just no viewers, basically, like his raids really helped kickstart my growth. At that point now I started averaging like 15, 20 viewers, and then that just snowballed over. I mean, but even the first year though was still painfully slow compared to what people would expect after a year of streaming. So you got to stick with it. I mean, live streaming, it's the long game, and it's really, I was in a lucky position as well to be single. I didn't have to really worry about money as much. I was in a really nice position where my brother, if I couldn't make rent 1 month, he would spot me and I'd pay him back later. And I just didn't have anything else going on. So, if you have a family or if you have a relationship you're trying to maintain, or if you have a job or school, like streaming becomes very difficult to maintain, especially if it's not growing at the speed you'd want it to.
Agreed. You can see a lot of these people like Nightmare RH who like tried to do YouTube while he was doing military stuff.
Yeah.
Or like I think Jellyfish got a real life job too.
Did she?
There's like mad streamers. I don't know. I don't see her as much, so I figure she's just like making bands. But that's what I figure any streamer is doing. Whenever I don't see them live anymore, they're probably just making more money somewhere else. But you can always come back to RuneScape. You can always, if you're a really good streamer, you can always make the comeback. That's what I'm in the middle of trying to do.
Yeah.
I used to average more viewers, but I had a mental breakdown several times, mind you, and had to go to psych wards. And those visits have really affected my streams because if you're in a psych ward, you can't stream.
Yep.
Of course. So people are like, where's Kim? I guess he fell the fuck off. But that's not true. It's just you can't get out unless they, help you.
Yeah.
So, if you keep fucking doing stupid shit and you stay in there longer, hey, that's up to you. But it's not jail. It's just take your medicine.
Yep.
If you decide to go to a psych ward in the first place, it would probably be smart to take the medicine since you wanted to go there in the first place. That's what I learned. But, I lost my partnership in the meantime. I sent, who is it? Amazon? Twitch? I sent somebody an email, and I said, hey, could you please take away my partnership? I'm no longer Chymistry. That's not me. I'm not him. Thanks. And they were like, yeah, no problem. And they took it away.
Oh, damn.
And then I came back from the mental facility. It was like, I was a busy person. I really fucked myself over. So now I have no viewers and no partnership and no videos. Yeah. And I reset my computer because I thought the FBI was after me. So I lost all my files, everything.
Fuck.
It was really hard to recover. Shortly after that, I became homeless. So I really had to make videos if I really wanted to get up out of that gym. Got a job, made videos in my spare time, hustled, got money, fucked a couple bitches. All that's true except for the last part. And then, now here we are today.
Well, Chymistry, we've hit that time. Honestly, a pleasure getting to know you a little bit better as well.
Yeah, I'm a real ass N-word, if you know what I'm saying. You can cut that part out if you want. Yeah, I try to be real. Yeah. I came to this podcast thinking, damn, I wonder if I should be myself or should I be a teacher? And so, which one do you think that I did?
I think you came as yourself.
Yeah, I came as myself. I feel like I came as myself. And I wasn't telling anybody anything. I said how I feel, and I'm sure that I've burned a couple bridges with a couple communities because they're probably not going to listen to everything that I said. I mean, this is over an hour long. Mm-hmm. And so there's going to be a lot of points that I might have to what is it called? Expound upon. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm not going to expound upon shit. And you can take what I said for what it is or leave it. And if there's a problem, you can get it in blood, like the Red Cross.
All right, Chymistry. For those listening, down in the description, I'm going to have his links down there, his YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Anything else you'd like linked?
Don't link to Twitter. Fuck Twitter.
Okay. I won't have that link, but I will have your music or your mixtape link down there.
Yes. As well. Yes. Thank you. And I just want to say, off the podcast, like, are we done with the podcast?
No, not quite yet. I'll
Okay. Just let me know when we're done.
Okay.
Let me know when we're done.
Thank you everybody for listening. We will catch you guys in the next one. If you want to support the cast, by the way, get your name on the title screen. There's a Patreon link and a YouTube membership link down there. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.